Welcome to part 2 of Autism, Non-Response, and Eloping. I hope you're enjoying it. If you missed part 1, don't worry about it. I will put it on the card here and I will link it at the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest. Okay, moving on. Let's go to point number 3. Point number 3, visualize and teach their name.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
So at some point in time, they gotta learn their name. Just like my buddy Michael Keaton, gotta learn their name, and once they have their name down and it's articulated, we can celebrate. So there are lots of different ways to implement this one in terms of how to do their name, right? You certainly can visualize it and have a picture of themselves like on a pegboard, and you put their name under it, and they sort of start drawing that relationship. You can certainly obviously call them by their name. Regardless of how that works out, if you're gonna go verbally, it's usually a good idea to start like very, very close to them, so that way they know you're calling them. And if you go the picture-wise, obviously you can visualize that as well. Circling back to the audio strategy, I would stay very, very close to them. So basically, if they're not gonna stop within 6 inches of you calling their name, they're not gonna do it within 6 feet, right? So start small, right? Be sure they can stop hearing your name at about a 1/6 inch or 1 foot difference, and then see how it progresses from there. The key thing here is, if you get them to stop at 6 inches by their name, there needs to be some sort of reward, some sort of celebration. I would go over the top on how proud you are of them, because that is a really, really big deal for a child with autism to stop 6 inches in front of their parent. It's a big deal. And you want to celebrate those big deals and really let them know you are proud of them for doing that, and then go to 1 foot, then 2 feet, and then 3 feet. So if they don't respond to their name, then you're going to have to actually redirect them, right? So obviously if they respond to their name, we over celebrate, but if they don't respond, don't just let them continue on walking. You need to actually physically redirect them, and that way they're looking at you in the eyeballs and be like, hey, I am calling your name, right? If I were to play out the rest of the video that I showed you in the beginning, that day in the field, I had to redirect this child every single place he went, right? Because the street was in front of him, like a driveway was the other way, there's like a ditch over there, but he never stopped on his own. He's like the Energizer Bunny, just, you know, just do, right? I had to get in front of him and redirect. So what I would caution you is that if they get 6 inches and they don't listen, go ahead and redirect them then. Let's not wait like I did until they're, you know, half a football field in front of you. So I would say this is gonna take time, so be patient. You can spend a whole week trying to do 6 inches and it doesn't work. And that's okay, because then you'll just try again next week, right? Because the option of them not learning is, how can I say this, not an option, right? So continue to practice, continue to be patient, and stick with it, keep them close, and then slowly iterate out. Point of caution, not every child that doesn't respond has autism, certainly. Sometimes kids just don't respond, or they don't hear you, or they have something else like ADHD, or nothing, I don't know. I have 2 children who don't have autism. 6 feet was about as far as they went before they turned around and found out where an adult was, and so that way they felt safe. This is just one story, one child, one family. I leave it to you to decide what's best going on in your situation. Okay, moving on to the last point, point number 4. Point number 4, have a backup plan for personal information. Okay, if you are a parent out there of a child with special needs, I'm about to tug at your worst nightmare, at my worst nightmare, at our worst nightmare, which is where our child comes in contact with a stranger and they cannot communicate or express themselves to who they are or what they need. I know you are cringing right now just thinking about that point. I know I certainly am. This is a problem, and I can tell you right now it happens very, very quickly. You're in a store, I'll share a story in just a minute. You're at school, it happens very quickly. So there are lots of solutions out there like ID tags and different ways to sort of identify them and who to call in those situations, because if they come in contact with a stranger, and especially if they're nonverbal and they cannot communicate anything about themselves, we've got real problems. So I would encourage you to find a way to sort of stick a card in their backpack and in their back pocket. If you're going out in situations they can't communicate, so they can call back home. If you know some other options or solutions, I invite you to put them down below, comment. I certainly don't know everything. I don't know every resource out there. So if you know other resources, other solutions, please put them in the comments below. We're all in this together. As a story, when I took my child to kindergarten, his kindergarten classroom was like an open environment. Like there weren't classrooms. It was like class sections of kindergarten, and they all only like this divider separated them. I took my child in there. It was like my first day walking him to school. And I stopped to talk to a teacher, and he just took off, just straight ran, right? And obviously me, I'm doing this sort of inner dialogue. It's like, okay, well, I got to run after him. You know, there's a bunch of kids in my way. Like, I mean, it was a madhouse, right? Thankfully, one of the teachers knew where he was going, got him down and brought him back. But the point I'm trying to illustrate to you is it happened so fast. So have that backup plan in place, especially if they're nonverbal. You can never over prepare if you have a child with special needs, and I know you know what I'm talking about. So again, comment down below if you have other solutions. I'd love to hear them. Boom! We did it! Another episode in the books. 4 tips to autism, response, and eloping. My name is Daniel. I appreciate you clicking on the video. If you liked it, again, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Share it with any parent, professional, loved one that you think the content is appropriate for, and I will see you on the next video.